Can we talk briefly about the past one?
Yes.
It was big.
Yes.
It was pretty big. So this is the relationship with Zayn.
Yes.
Okay. How would you describe it? Because like you two were part of these two enormous groups, and it felt like, okay, the press was making it about the two of you.
Yeah.
But how would you describe that moment with him and how the public received you two?
I think because we were so young and we were both starting out, it was very early days for One Direction and Little Mix. We just won X Factor when I met him. Yeah, I was on X Factor because I remember sneaking out every night to see them.
So this is early.
This was early days.
Okay.
And it was all very new for them as well. So I think meeting someone at that time in your career who's kind of at the same point is kind of refreshing. Because it's like, oh, you get it. Like, we kind of get each other. We've got this, like, same kind of thing going on. And it kind of just worked. And maybe we clicked from that. And it was pretty easy at first, it seemed. And then I think it got more difficult, obviously, as it went on.
Would you say he was your first true love?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can see it, because it feels like you were, you were in and out of the hospital. Mm-hmm. You were very sick when you were little.
Yeah.
Very strong relationship with your mom.
Yeah.
That X Factor was really your evolution.
Yes, it was.
As a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your first proper love.
Yeah. Like, I had little boyfriends at school and whatnot, but nothing like, oh my God, this is it. But we were engaged to be married, so clearly we had feelings for each other. But I think at that age, I thought that this is it. But when I look back now, I'm like, oh my God, I was so young. How was I to know that was it? Because I didn't know any different. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think, yeah.
Now, were you advised, because also talking to many artists, almost all of them were advised not to at least showcase that they were in committed relationships, because it would impact, especially the men.
Yes, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
The men, yeah.
Okay.
It's always the guys. Not necessarily me. I think part of us keeping everything private was because it was nice to have something private in general, because everything else was just laid out. But I think we didn't want to, I felt bad for the girls because a lot was made to be about him. And it was the start of our careers. And I think everyone was worried. That was like, we're only going to make it because it's off the back of One Direction. And it's almost like our success was kind of linked to that, which it's not the worst thing in the world. But I think at the time it must have been frustrating for the other girls, and getting asked about them all the time. It is a bit annoying. And when you're like young and you're in a relationship with someone, you're not just going to talk about them 24/7 in interviews, but it's what people wanted. Yes. But then I would talk about it and people would be like, shut up. We don't want to know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like when you're in the public eye, like with relationships, like even just then when you were asking about him, it made me feel a bit sick, because it's been installed in me to just not talk about it, because I can't win either way. I talk about it, people hate it. I don't talk about it, people get annoyed. There's no like balance with that kind of situation that happened.
Yes. But
then I'm like, and it annoys me when you bring something up, like probably the Kerry Katona thing. People would be like, get over it. It happened years ago. It happened. It was a big moment in my life and it happened. Doesn't mean that I'm just like, oh, never mind, move on. Like, it's a big deal. So I think it is tricky, but I think loads of people in the public eye have that. Like, every time they talk about previous relationships or anything, it's like, why are you harping on about it?
Yes.
But then people are so interested, they want to ask. So I'm like, I can't win.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then on top of all of that you said, which I agree with, is that was your first love.
Yeah.
And I think that there is something that, especially in studying relationship science, is that first love does a lot with regard to shaping how we then show up in our relationships.
100%.
Right? So that's why it's also important to talk about it.
Yeah.
So then how did that relationship with Zayn shape how you then loved after him?
Probably not good. It wasn't ideal. I think it definitely, at the time, I thought everything we experienced in our relationship was normal. Because it was my first relationship, first love, I was like, oh, this is how it's supposed to feel. It's supposed to feel a little bit toxic in some ways. This is probably normal.
Right.
And then when I become single, I was almost thinking like, I never, ever want to go through that again. I didn't even want to meet anybody. I was like, that's me done. I don't think I could bear that pain. Like, the pain of heartbreak is so grim that I remember thinking, I'm done with men forever. That's me, done. And then when I met Alex, I had so many issues in our relationship at the beginning that I probably didn't notice at the time. But now reflecting back, I'm thinking, oh, that probably wasn't, it wasn't good. And I've noticed it a lot. Like, in the start of the relationship, I would handle things differently with Alex, and he'd come at it with such a level head that it would throw me. If that makes sense.
It does. But can we talk about those things?
Yeah,
so then how old were you when you and Zayn broke up?
Oh, I actually don't remember. Maybe 21, 22, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe a bit older. I can't remember.
But you're still in the group, though.
Oh, yeah. We're still in the group.
So still in the group. So you're still in the group. You break up, and you had just mentioned that, you know, you and the girls, you feel each other's heartbreak. You feel each other's pain.
Yes.
So they must have felt that.
Oh, absolutely. They went through it, them girls, bless them. We went through a lot. It was a really difficult time. I think the press, like the public, it was just a lot. There was times when the girls would just huddle around me, or there was times Leanne was doing crazy dances in the street just to distract from me, because it was getting a lot. It was too much. It was just everywhere. It followed me like a bad smell that I can't smell.
That you can't smell?
That I can't smell.
It was like a bad smell that you could smell, though.
Yeah, I could smell that one. It was honestly like a really difficult time. I'd never navigated heartbreak, let alone having everyone criticise it in the public eye. So I think I felt embarrassed. I felt weird. I was really sad. And it was just like going through all these emotions and going through it with everyone staring at me. It was like, it was mortifying.